Being single isn't the problem. Wasting your single years is. I need you to hear that without flinching, without arguing with it, without trying to soften it into something more comfortable. Because I'm watching too many men live in a strange trap. Technically single, but not truly free. Free men grow, free men build. Free men stack results. But what I see instead is a loop. Same patterns, same disappointments, same excuses. You're not stronger than last year, not sharper, not calmer, not more capable, not more respected, not meaningfully wealthier. You're older, but the numbers on the board haven't moved. And when dating doesn't go your way, you blame luck, timing, the city you're in, the culture, women, your height, your face, your past, your job, your energy, anything except the one thing you actually control, what you do with your days. I'm not here to shame you. Shame doesn't build men. It only makes them hide. I'm here to wake you up. Because being single can be the greatest strategic advantage a man ever gets if he doesn't sabotage it. This season can either shape you into a man with weight and direction, or it can dissolve you into distraction and regret. The difference is not fate. It's not magic. It's discipline. It's standards. It's decisions repeated until they become identity. Most men don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they drift. And drifting looks harmless until you look back and realize you traded years for nothing. So I'm going to walk you through the most common ways men ruin their single years. Clear, direct, no comfort, no sugarcoating. Not because I'm cruel, but because life already is. I'd rather you hear truth now than regret later. Mistake 1. Making women the center of your life. I've watched men lose themselves, not inside relationships, but inside the pursuit of one. Your day begins with your phone. Did she reply? Did you get a match? Did someone react? Did that message land? Your mood becomes a hostage to attention. Your energy rises and falls based on whether a stranger approves of you today. Your plans revolve around who you might meet. You choose where to go based on the odds of female interest. You measure your weekend by whether something happened. You measure your worth by whether you were wanted. And the tragedy is this. You may tell yourself that you're just dating, but you're actually outsourcing your self-esteem. You replay conversations. You rewrite messages. You study her tone. You adjust your personality to fit what you think will work. You spend hours tweaking photos instead of upgrading your life. You become a marketer for a product you haven't improved. And the irony is brutal. The more you center women, the less attractive you become. Because attraction doesn't chase desperation. It gravitates toward gravity. A man with a core pulls people in. A man hunting for validation pushes them away. When you have no mission, no structure, no deep standards for your own life, you look for a woman to become the center you never built. You want her attention to give you meaning, her approval to quiet your uncertainty. But meaning borrowed from another person is fragile. The moment she pulls back, your confidence collapses. Your stability was never yours. It was rented. And women can sense that dependence instantly. Even if they can't explain it in words, they feel it. Neediness is loud, even when you try to disguise it as being interested. Hunger leaks through your eyes, your tone, your choices. You become reactive. You become available in a way that signals you have nothing else going on. Stability attracts. Independence attracts. Not coldness, not arrogance, not pretending you don't care. Independence. Independence means you can enjoy women without needing them to feel whole. It means your life has a foundation that doesn't shake every time your notifications change. It means your mood isn't an open door that anyone can walk through. You need a life with structure, a schedule that doesn't collapse for every message, goals that matter more than a date, habits that continue even if nobody texts you back. When you're deeply engaged in building your body, your skills, your finances, your competence, your character, something shifts. You stop chasing. You become selective. You stop asking, do they like me? And you start asking, do they fit into what I'm building? That is a man's frame, not controlling others, but controlling himself. So be honest with yourself. Are women the center of your life, or are they a benefit added to a life already in motion? If the center is hollow, everything else wobbles. And that leads to the next mistake. Because a man without a woman and without a mission doesn't stay neutral. He becomes dangerous to himself. He drifts. Mistake 2, living without a mission. A man without a mission weakens in ways he doesn't notice at first. It doesn't show up like a disaster. It shows up like a slow leak. You wake up, you work, you come home, you distract yourself, you sleep, you repeat. Weeks blur into months. Months quietly become years. On paper, you're functioning. You pay bills, you show up, you're fine. But internally, something erodes. Your edge dulls, your ambition gets quieter, your posture softens, your confidence fades in thin layers until you can't remember what it felt like to be hungry. You tell yourself, I'm figuring it out. But if there's no direction, there's no momentum. And without momentum, your identity shrinks. Men are designed to build. When you're growing, learning, training, improving, producing, you feel alive. When you stagnate, self-respect declines. You don't wake up one day and decide to lose self-respect. You just stop earning it. You stop keeping promises to yourself. You stop stacking wins. And when you stop stacking wins, your inner voice stops trusting you. Women feel this before you say a word. A man on a path moves differently than a man who is lost. One hesitates. The other has quiet certainty. Even if his progress is small, he knows what he's aiming at. That clarity creates confidence. And confidence can't be faked for long because it's not a performance. It's a byproduct of competence. I've seen men blame rejection on looks or luck when the real issue was direction. When you don't take your life seriously, it shows. When you don't respect your time, it shows. When you don't know where you're going, people can feel it. Why would anyone trust you with a future if you're wandering through your present? A relationship does not create purpose. It magnifies what is already there. If you have no mission, it magnifies emptiness. You'll try to make the relationship your entire world, and that pressure kills attraction and peace at the same time. You don't need a dramatic master plan overnight. You need a target. Pick one domain and commit. Your career and income trajectory, your body and health, a high-value skill, a business, craft, trade, or creative output you can measure, your financial stability and freedom. Then make it real. Weekly objectives, daily discipline, tracking, adjustment. Improve 1% a day. Compounding does not care about motivation. It only cares about consistency. When a man starts moving with intention, everything changes. His time becomes valuable. His conversations sharpen. His standards rise. And being single stops feeling like waiting. It starts feeling like preparation. Because if you're not building a mission, the next thing you'll neglect becomes obvious, visible, and quietly destructive. Mistake 3, neglecting your health and appearance. Let's stop pretending this doesn't matter. Your body matters, not because you need to be a model, not because your value is only aesthetics, but because your physical condition is a signal. It speaks before you do. It communicates discipline or neglect, standards or surrender, self respect or avoidance. Many men hide behind slogans. She should like me for who I am. Looks aren't everything. Those can be true statements, but they're often used as shields for laziness, a way to make avoidance feel like principle. If you avoid the gym because it's uncomfortable, say that. If you avoid cleaning up your diet because it requires effort, say that. If you avoid improving your style because you don't want to learn, admit it. Because avoiding reality doesn't protect you, it just delays growth. Here's what happens when you let your body go. Your energy drops, your posture collapses, your confidence gets unstable. You start hesitating in small ways. You don't want to be in photos. You choose clothes to hide instead of clothes that fit. You compare yourself to men who look like they take care of themselves, and you feel that quiet embarrassment. That insecurity doesn't stay private. It leaks into your eye contact, your voice, your decisions. Presence is physical. Masculine confidence is not just mental, it's embodied. Train consistently, and your mind changes. Your mood steadies. Your resilience strengthens. Your stress tolerance rises. Your willingness to take on hard things increases. You start proving to yourself that you can do what you said you'd do. And yes, your dating life improves, not because women are shallow, but because health signals vitality, strength signals capability, fitness signals self-control. Those signals are ancient and they operate beneath conversation. You don't need extreme routines. You need fundamentals. Lift weights 3 to 4 times a week. Walk daily. Eat like an adult. Protein, real food, less processed junk. Sleep 7 to 8 hours consistently. Stay hydrated. Control alcohol and late nights. Get sunlight and move your body like it's meant to move. 20 disciplined minutes a day will be 2 weeks of motivation followed by quitting. Consistency turns you into someone you respect. And when you respect yourself, you stop negotiating with weakness. When you look in the mirror and see a man who is earning his own respect, you speak differently. You stand differently. You choose differently. And once you start valuing your body, you'll face the next temptation, trying to use money as a shortcut for what discipline should have built. Mistake 4, spending to impress instead of investing to build. A lot of men try to purchase admiration instead of earning respect. They buy the watch before they build the income. They finance the car that squeezes their budget. They drop money on flashy nights out, trying to look like a man they haven't become. They post curated images to signal status, hoping appearance will cover insecurity. And sometimes it works for a moment. You might get attention, you might get interest, but attention is not the goal. Leverage is the goal. Forced displays of luxury often signal instability. They don't say, I'm powerful. They say, I'm trying to be seen. And when your spending is driven by the need to be validated, it communicates a lack of inner authority. Real attraction, real respect, comes from competence and stability. Competence means you can generate value repeatedly. Stability means your finances are structured, not chaotic. A man who understands money moves calmly because he knows how to create and protect it. That calm is more impressive than any accessory could ever be. Ask yourself, are your expenses aligned with growth or ego? Are you building skills that increase your earning power? Are you saving and investing or just consuming? Are you buying things to feel significant? Or are you building systems that make you free? Your single years are the easiest time to build financial foundation because you have fewer obligations and more control over your environment. If you waste the season on debt for image, you're trading future freedom for temporary validation. Start thinking in years, not weekends. Learn financial literacy. Build an emergency fund. Eliminate high interest debt. Invest consistently. Increase your income by developing rare skills. Negotiate your pay. Build a side stream. Build your network. Money should expand your options, not trap you. The goal is not to look rich. The goal is to be unshakable. And even if you build fitness, direction, and financial stability, there's a trap that destroys men quietly. The fear of being alone long enough to choose wisely. Mistake 5. Accepting the wrong relationship because you fear solitude. This is where a lot of men who look strong on the outside collapse quietly. You tell yourself you're independent. You say you like freedom. But when loneliness stretches, your standards start to soften. You tolerate disrespect. You overlook obvious red flags. You rationalize behavior that drains you. Not because you're stupid, but because being alone feels heavy. And you start treating any relationship as a rescue from silence. I've watched men stay in situations that slowly ruin them. Constant drama, emotional chaos, lack of admiration, manipulation, no peace, no support, no alignment, just stress and cycles. But they stay because they tell themselves, at least I'm not single. That sentence has destroyed more futures than rejection ever could. Temporary loneliness will not break you. Long-term misalignment will. A bad relationship taxes your attention. It splits your focus. It drains your emotional energy. It interrupts your mission. And over time, your growth stalls. Once momentum dies, rebuilding feels twice as hard. You need to understand this. Being chosen is not the same as choosing well. A relationship should complement your life, not become your life. It should add strength, not steal it. It should bring peace, not constant uncertainty. It should align with your values, not compete with them. Holding standards requires emotional strength. It means walking away even when attachment exists. It means choosing quiet nights over chaotic intimacy. It means trusting that patience protects you. The right partner doesn't replace your discipline. She respects it. She supports your direction. She adds warmth and stability, not distraction and disorder. And if you can't stand being alone, you'll accept what you shouldn't, then spend years paying for it. But even men who avoid bad relationships can still sabotage themselves through habits that drain drive and rewire the brain toward easy pleasure instead of earned achievement. Mistake 6, getting hooked on cheap stimulation. One of the most dangerous enemies of modern men is invisible because it's normal. Endless scrolling, constant novelty, late nights chasing stimulation, hours of passive entertainment, sexual content on demand, dopamine without effort. None of it looks catastrophic by itself. Together, it reshapes your mind. Your brain is an efficiency machine. It learns what you repeatedly reward it with. If you train it on fast pleasure, it starts resisting slow progress. Deep work feels heavier. Reading feels boring. Training feels inconvenient. Building feels too slow. You sit down to do something meaningful, and within minutes you crave escape. That craving isn't a moral failure. It's conditioning. Cheap stimulation lowers your tolerance for effort. It shortens focus. It makes you restless and unsatisfied, even when nothing is wrong. It can drain your drive because you're spending your appetite on distractions instead of goals. And here's the part most men don't admit. When you repeatedly choose the easy button, your confidence erodes. Not because you're weak, but because you know you're capable of more. Deep down, you feel the gap between your potential and your behavior. That gap creates quiet shame, and shame makes men hide, and hiding makes them repeat the cycle. You don't need perfection. You need boundaries. Reduce screen time. Remove the apps that steal hours. Stop feeding your mind constant noise. Guard your sleep like it's a weapon. Replace passive consumption with active building. The gym, a skill, work that produces real conversations, real progress. Even a 30-day reset can bring back clarity. When you reduce cheap stimulation, your hunger for real wins or returns. You start feeling sharper, grounded, present. Your discipline becomes easier because your brain stops screaming for constant reward. And that internal strength shows up everywhere. How you speak, how you handle rejection, how you pursue goals, how you carry yourself around women and men alike. But discipline doesn't thrive in isolation, which leads to another mistake men make, especially in the modern world. Mistake 7, losing connection with strong men. A man alone for too long starts negotiating with his weaknesses. Without external standards, discipline slides. You skip workouts because nobody notices. You procrastinate because nobody calls you out. You accept mediocrity because your environment doesn't challenge you. Isolation may feel peaceful at first, but extended isolation weakens accountability. Some men socialize mostly online. Some men make their social world revolve around women. Some men have friends, but they're not builders. They're just companions in distraction. You need friction. You need comparison in the healthy sense. You need men who are sharper in certain areas, stronger, more disciplined, further ahead. Not to hate yourself, so you level up. Quality male friendships do more than provide company. They normalize ambition. They exchange strategy. They hold standards. They give honest feedback without trying to please you. They remind you what you're capable of when your motivation drops. A strong male circle also expands your opportunities, career connections, mentorship, business ideas, introductions, life advice that comes from experience instead of theory. And there's another reason this matters. Women are not meant to be your only emotional outlet. If you place all social and emotional weight on a romantic relationship, pressure builds. It becomes suffocating. A healthy man has brotherhood. Find 3 to 5 men who value growth. Train together, meet regularly, share goals, hold each other to deadlines, talk about what matters, build alliances, not just hangouts. Even one mentor can accelerate your trajectory. And yet, even with mission, fitness, money, and brotherhood, one final trap delays men more than anything else. Mistake 8, believing you have more time than you do. This is the quietest mistake, and often the most expensive. You tell yourself you're still young. You say you'll start training seriously next month. You'll learn the skill next year. You'll start investing when you make more. You'll get disciplined when the time is right. But time doesn't announce when it's leaving. I've spoken to men in their 30s who still feel 22 inside, but their results don't match their age. 5 years disappeared into comfort. 10 years vanished into distraction. Not because they were dumb, but because they kept delaying the moment they decided to become serious. The gap between an established man and an unstable man is rarely intelligence. It's usually the start date. When did he stop negotiating with himself? When did he start keeping promises? When did he begin stacking wins? Momentum works both ways. Build it early and it carries you. Postpone it and inertia traps you. The longer you wait, the heavier the start feels. Habits harden. Comfort zones thicken. Responsibilities pile up. Starting later becomes harder for no reason other than you made it so. Here's a reality that should sharpen you. Your future partner does not build your life for you. She doesn't train your body. She doesn't create your income. She doesn't install your discipline. She doesn't protect your mindset. She meets the version of you your daily decisions are created. That should not scare you. It should focus you. Start small, but start now. Live today, even if it's 20 minutes. Study tonight, even if it's 30 minutes. Save a percentage immediately, even if it's modest. Apply for the better job. Take the course. Build the routine. Cut one destructive habit this week. Make one hard decision you've been avoiding. Small actions repeated become identity. The man you are in 5 years is being built by what you tolerate today. If you delay long enough, regret becomes louder than motivation. And regret is heavier to carry than effort. The truth about being single is not a curse, it's leverage. It's uninterrupted time. It's freedom from compromise. It's the rare season where your decisions mostly affect you. That's not emptiness, that's raw material. And raw material can be wasted or shaped. Most men waste this phase chasing validation, numbing themselves with distraction, or postponing responsibility. The disciplined few use it to construct power. You have control over your body, your income trajectory, your daily habits, your circle, your skills, your standards, your mindset, your peace. These are not minor variables. They determine the quality of every future relationship you enter. They determine the kind of woman you attract, and more importantly, the kind of man you can remain once you have her. When you strengthen these areas, you become more grounded and more selective. Your confidence becomes quiet. Your energy becomes stable. You stop trying to earn approval and start living from standards. Attraction changes when you stop seeking and start embodying. Structure, progress, competence, steadiness. A man with a structured schedule, improving finances, a stronger body, and a clearer mind moves differently. He speaks with intention. He walks with certainty. He doesn't chase, he evaluates. So don't use your single years to chase women. Use them to become the kind of man women want to keep. That isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's reality. When you focus on becoming capable, reliable, disciplined, and emotionally steady, attention becomes a byproduct instead of a pursuit. You don't need a dramatic reinvention overnight. You need consistency, train regularly, build skills, save and invest, strengthen brotherhood. Guard your mind from cheap stimulation. Hold standards in relationships. Make your life something you respect. Today decides who your future partner will meet. She will meet either a man who wasted his freedom or a man who forged himself in it. That choice is not abstract. It's daily. And every day you delay is a vote for mediocrity. Your single years are not empty space. They are raw material. Shape them carefully.